This episode of The General's Gentleman is sponsored by Sorcerer King Rivals, a new 4X grand strategy game where heroes of might and magic and Age of Wonders meet civilizations. Build your cities, gather your armies, and grow your magic to stop the evil Sorcerer King.
Welcome to The General's Gentleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dawn of War 2 Elite Mod. Today we are casting the Faction Wars. And who are our factions for today, Blake?
One of them is clearly No, wait, that's Tyranids. Yeah, we've got Tyranids. That will be Forgos. He's got Lictor and 2 Hive Tyrants. That will be Suffocation and Quest.
Shout out to one of the Space Marines play here. He's like, I do hope there's no Tyranids on the other team. Of course, there's 3 Tyranids. What a funny joke, but he's going to be the Apothecary Don't Come Closer, spelt with the vulgar, inappropriate CUM. Black Ice is going to be like Tech Marine, and Bashful Poony?
Oni? I don't know.
Yeah, it depends if you're like the pure Onage kind of with the P. Bashful Oni. I guess in honor of Jeremy's legacy, we have to call him Pure Oni, right?
Yeah.
Pure Oni.
Pure Oni.
So this is Argus Desert Gate. This is a map where you can have some nasty flanks where if you rotate your opponent's lane, and I use that word a little bit apprehensively because of the Dow2 reveal. The MOBA style lane layout is quite upsetting, but either way, we won't have time for that just now because there's going to be Hive Tyrants mauling apart Space Marines with their claws.
It is melee time, it is crush cover time. They're having a good time overall, Machine. Force Commander's going to be running in, getting a couple of melee hits off. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, he's
taking a bit of damage.
Nice wraparound from one of the Tyranid players. Actually already has some Spore Mines, so that can be used to make the units kite around.
We're going to play pretty hard here at this stage in the game. We've got double scouts coming out of the right-hand side.
Yeah, nice. That's suppression from the Spore Mines.
Yeah.
They're really good, but obviously once they blow up, they're gone.
Yeah.
So they really have to pay off.
They certainly have in this opportunity.
Yeah, because they're going to take that power gen down. That's going to give good map control. Even the left side as well, going pretty well for the Nids.
No knockback immunity for the Lictor Alpha. He's going to be taken away from the power, and it won't be denied from our Space Marines.
Oh, wow.
Range battles are not going well at all. We're engaging incredibly well.
These Tech Marines definitely need to get out of here. All right.
See the shotgun's getting added on, but it might be a little bit late here.
They do get focused down, but you were able to retreat away from this one. There's still some scouts firing from that house, but their damage isn't too good. Trying to hold out as long as he can. Nice flank here with the Hormagaunts. I think he actually may have wiped a squad here. I wasn't quite paying attention to that one.
Don't come close. They're actually going to be adding on an additional scout here. It's interesting, not going for a squad of attacks. Black, Ice. They're having the Devastator team. That's going to be excellent.
Yeah,
this heavy range presence on the right-hand side from our Tyranids.
Pretty sure there was a squad wipe there because we see L Don't Come Close rebuilding a scout squad. So nice flank with the Hormagaunts. Left side still battle waging back and forwards, but the powers could be harassed if the Space Marines have to back away. Holding on to this power has been very desperate, and it looks like the Tyranids have managed to gradually but definitely win the fight.
Space Marines having to push out before being fully healed now, making full use of that Apothecary from the backside to try and these range battles work. We have our first couple of squads of these warriors on the field. We chopping down the power, especially after the scouts already blew the shotgun knockback on the Lictor Alpha down the bottom. It's pretty awesome. Nicely played, actually hiding those warriors and then moving them in to deal with the power afterwards.
We do have the Sergeant here as well. He has the detection. He will have some nades. Sick dodge.
Oh, man, big plays.
I'm going to miss that. Watching players actually micro their units. Remember, like,
shame.
Back in my day, we used to micro our Space Marines.
Yeah.
Micro? What's that, Daddy?
Micro? Do you mean attack moving my big
No,
blobs around?
no, not attack moving your blobs of units. Well,
Right.
to be fair, there is a lot of attack moving blob of units in Dow2, but that's only one small part of it,
So
right?
they're fully sick nade dodges.
Oh,
so,
look at
yeah.
that nade! Fantastic.
Ah, I love it.
He used the knockback to put the warriors on their backs, and during that he threw the nade, so he couldn't possibly dodge it.
It was beautiful.
I just have this extra appreciation for all these sick micro and sick ability usage and just good design in general.
Fully sick game, man. A couple upgrades on this Hive Tyrant. Looks like he's gone for... Let's have a look. Wish I knew them by icon. There are just so many icons, it's hard to tell. Down the bottom right. Yeah, up a bit, up a bit. You've already got the Hive Tyrant selected.
Sorry, I wasn't
Not
listening.
anymore! Select the Hive Tyrant. He has a couple of upgrades. I was checking what they were. Yeah, the improved synapse. It's going to be good. There are warriors on the field for that as well. But it's going to help out a bit more range. And also the warp field. Right, okay.
Yeah,
The
so...
damage absorption. So.
Yep, so different types of units give a different bonus. And so they do stack as well, because
Okay,
they're different
cool.
bonuses.
Yeah.
So I think this is a health bonus. Yeah, that's a health increase.
Yeah.
Warrior, I forget, but I think it's like a damage increase
yeah.
depending on what upgrade it is.
Yeah.
Like the barbed strangler, I think is ranged,
Yeah.
and then the adrenal glands, I believe, is melee. So speaking of that, we're gonna have the suppression coming through right now, which is preventing the Space Marines from kiting away from the Raveners, from the Hormogaunts. And the Tyranids seem to just have a very good game in their hands, but we do have the Assault Space Marines now on the field.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It's going to be good. Grapple coming in from the back, though. Love that the Hive Tyrant, because it can crush cover, ignores cover when it's retreating. It just like picks the best path. It's like, that's the general direction of my base, and finds the retreat. So that's
Oh
cool.
man, this Gagent was nasty. The nades hit the warriors directly, and then the Assault Marines could mop up, and because the warriors keep going down, again, the warriors are getting disrupted, so the Synapse keeps knocking back the Hormogaunts. Man, that was a disastrous engagement there. You do see the Tech Marine barely survive, as the Lictor Alpha survives.
Assault Space Marines are ripping apart the range damage from our Tyranids. This is completely nuts and a massive turnaround that I wasn't expecting. Towards our VPs, 422 for the Tyranids, 341 for our Space Marines.
Yeah, that was quite costly. There was a squad of warriors that went down. And we actually have the Power Sword. Wow, you don't often see that.
No.
It gives him very good armor-piercing attacks, good versus the heavy infantry, which is the warriors, which is not the Raveners, I don't think, but the warriors is definitely important,
Yeah.
and the Hive Tyrant too.
It's not a bad add-on, actually. In addition to that Iron Halo, he's going to be able to be in melee for a considerable amount of time, enough to deal... I'm guessing it is to deal with the warriors particularly, to get that knockback from the Synapse, so he can disrupt the range damage as well for as long as possible, and that's probably the best early game way to keep the Force Commander in the fight.
Yeah, it also does give a buff to the battle cry, so it will help all nearby units around him, and if there's a big engagement there with multiple players, and that will, I believe it'll buff everyone. And we're gonna have the Brood Nest for Drop Pod. This can actually reinforce Space Marines on the field. The problem with that, though, is they have to stick around at quite low health. Forward Retreat is actually, Forward Reinforce rather, is actually a lot more balanced in Dow2 than it is in KO2, because of the way that the health and the model drops work. Is you don't drop models until the squad's very low on health, where in KO2 you drop models really at any value of health.
And technically it tends to lean towards being quite regular as well. So you drop a fifth of the health on a 5-model squad, you lose a model. So
Yeah,
it has a tendency to lean in that direction.
because
so,
the way
yeah.
that works in Code 2 is you miss a lot.
Yeah,
Is you miss
that's
more than
true.
you
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
And then when you hit, it does a fair bit of damage. Whereas in Dow 2, you always hit. Like, you're constantly hitting things. And then, so the damage is more consistent and more evenly spread out as a result.
16 health scout squad, no worries. Someone's going to be retreating as well. There's a bit of power harassment going on. Tyranids have managed to push forward, and interesting, the power farms are quite displaced from the main base. These are obviously the safest power farms you can actually get your hands on, and it's quite easy to harass if you are forced off the field. It's a considerable distance of travel to get back to the power. Remembering you have to account both the retreat time as well as the heal time, and then the reinforced to position time.
Whoops.
That
Plasma
was...
cannon comes
what?
through. He's gonna die here.
That's... He had 87 energy.
Well, yeah, you didn't use it. I don't think you can use it while you're retreating, but he probably just panicked. He probably like, wasn't watching, and then went, oh crap, hit, and then hit retreat.
Right, yeah.
And then the plasma cannon shot came in last minute. And often in team games, you just revive your teammates, but when they're this far into enemy territory, it's going to be a little bit hard to do that.
Yeah. I suppose one of the benefits of having the Lictor Alpha if it actually manages to stealth in. Assuming it can avoid the scout squads with the sergeants, but...
Yeah, get a sneaky revive.
Yeah, sneaky revive, exactly. So, get out of there again. Quite easy for it to stealth in, it's quite quick. But...
Wow, that suppression kicked through just in time. Didn't fire for very long, but now we have the Raveners. There's actually 2 Ravener broods, so he's able to just dive in after these Devastator teams very effectively.
Yeah. Very nicely played.
The Homogons here can wipe things on retreat pretty effectively with their adrenal glands. Oh man, the Devastators do survive. Oh my god! And he's gonna actually lose the Homogons.
Are gonna go down. That's
Whoops.
Unfortunate.
He could have retreated that one, but
would have been worth if he got the Devastators. That was so close.
Yeah, I believe the Homogons are the fastest unit in the game. They can chase things down so well. And we do have the Tyrant Guard on the field. That's definitely a powerful shock unit. You have to get anti-vehicle to deal with that. And currently there isn't any.
No, nothing at all on the field machine, so... I haven't seen any upgrades from those Devastators in anti-vehicle direction. There's actually... Is that 2 of them? Is there a second one on the left-hand side?
Oh yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, there we go. 2 Tyrant Guards. Nice. So, and even more incentive for our Space Marine players to... something to deal with it.
Well, Black Ice is like, nah guys, how about you guys invest in AT? I'm gonna go tier 3, screw you guys. But I think he wants to get the Venerable Dreadnought, that would be very nice. A few options he has really, but I'm actually surprised because the Space Marines have been denied their power a lot. Where we do see Suffocation going for his tier 3 now, but he only has 2 squads left. He seems to have been taking all the losses here. And there has been a lot of losses throughout though, like earlier we saw a Tac squad go down with the Flamer.
And something else you've got to consider, there really hasn't been a lot of investment into the tier 2 units from our Space Marine players. Like Black Ice didn't really go for any. There are these Tyrant Guards coming in from the Tyranids before they start heading up towards that tier 3.
Okay, this Tyrant Guard's getting slowed down by the las cannon. Also, I believe a melter bomb went off, so that's why he's limping so slowly. It's a melter bomb combined with that las cannon that definitely slows you down. The plasma sword will also do some good damage too, because the Tyrant Guard is like technically not a vehicle, I don't think. Or it doesn't have armor or something like that. Yeah, it's a monster, not a vehicle, so it works a little bit differently to an average, like I say, a Death Dread. Space Marines aren't looking too bad here, but the VPs are very low.
Yeah, down on 160 compared to the 367 of the Tyranids. We actually have VP control at this point in the game.
Oh, the friendly fire damage there from that plasma cannon. You've got to be very careful when you have your squads being tied up in melee.
Tyrant Guard having also pretty much fully flanked here. Takes another las cannon shot with that being said.
He's upgraded to the Crushing Claw, so he's got very good damage up in melee against the turret, against heavy units. There goes the Tech Marine, and the Tyrant Guard is going to be regenerating his health. It'll be very hard to take him out during that, but he will have a double las cannons. That'll get the job done.
There's nothing running into to actually disrupt this. But just obviously aren't in the area, and then the Tyrant Guard's going to go down.
Look, he's double repairing that turret.
Wow.
Plasma cannon shot gets so many of these Termagants. What happened to all the Ravener broods?
I'm not even sure where they've gone, Machine. They were jumping in very deep to try and disrupt the plasma cannons, but I don't even see any of them go down. So yeah, there aren't any, but yeah.
But that's what they need, because there's just a lot of Devastator weapon teams.
They must have dived in on the... Given we have about 2 engagements going at a time, I'm assuming they went on one of the other ones that ended up going down. They were diving very deep to look for those disruptions, so it would have been quite easy, you know, even for Shocks to see that coming, and we could have seen another knockback into Nade that was so effective earlier in the game.
VP control going to be very important now, though. Looks like they should be able to secure the north, should the Space Marines. Taking down that pull is quite nice, but these warriors, they're up in melee now. And, well, they get kited down pretty effectively, though, by the shotguns up close. And there's the missile launcher on the TAC Marines, so the power plants can get taken out pretty fast.
Dreadnought going to be coming in. Really need to get the VPs here, Machine. 80 VPs left for our Space Marine players.
I think he spawned... There's a global that you can use which spawns a warrior and a squad nearby. I mean, the problem with this map is that like the middle VPs are so far away, so you pretty much only have a choice of like getting one VP apart from your base free VP.
Dreadnought's going to be here. Power getting added on in drop pod fashion. Surprising me.
We haven't seen any tier 3 units just yet from any of our players. This is a pretty huge army of Tyranids. A lot of Hormagaunts, a lot of Termagants. We have Terminators. These are the range Terminators, so not sure how effective they will be against the Hive Tyrant with the Crushing Claw.
Yeah, I mean, they received a recent buff, but they're currently at melee against a Hive Tyrant. It's just buying more and more time. We actually have our Space Marines stalling out the VPs here. They managed to find a neutralize. Another one going down in the north, and we see 2 VPs currently in the hands of our Space Marines. So they really have turned it around, but can they keep that running?
If we see the Cyclone missile launches, that could be very devastating against these lines of Termagaunts. It's mainly ranged, so they're vulnerable to those indirect fire options. Even maybe the assault cannon would be a nice idea.
Orb Shield actually gets popped on time. So this Hive Tyrant will hopefully be able to walk away from this one. The Dreadnought gets dropped by.
Alright, what's this? A Carnifex.
Oh, Lord.
And it's 2 Carnifexes.
Was that double Carnifex?
Yeah, double Carnifex.
Oh, that's rough.
I see your Dreadnought and I raise your Carnifex.
Slams it down at the table.
Not exactly a fair fight.
And if our Dreadnoughts managed to raise them a las cannon on top of that or something, so... It's going to be nice. Knocks down the Hive Tyrant. It's going to be a little bit costly, though definitely within res range.
So, there's a couple of options on the Carnifex. You can go for a heavy melee weapon. You can go for the Venom Cannon for an anti-vehicle.
No power for a Melter. Energy, sorry. What do you think we're going to see here, Machine?
I don't know. I mean, he's already... Probably the... I can't remember if it's a melee weapon or if it's just like a health... I know that there's also an upgrade where you get like extra health and health regen, but yeah, once again, it's the combo of the las cannon and the melter bomb, and the recipe results in a very dead Carnifex.
Nicely played.
Especially with that Dreadnought slapping him about. Ever get so mad that you slap a Carnifex?
Bro, I've never been that mad. They have really big claws.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel very confident. I mean, I know I do martial arts, but I didn't really learn anything to do with the Carnifex in there, so...
Wow. Well, what do you learn,
Clearly
Blake?
my training is lax.
Yeah.
I'll have to add something on, but it's a bit of a misplay as well. Carnifex saw the Assault Marines, they had jumped in and didn't have enough energy to throw that Melter Bomb, and then just, it didn't back away. It just stayed there taking las cannon damage.
It's another Carnifex, though. So it could have been triple Carnifex, but now it's only the 2.
How
man. Is that double plasma? Oh my, it is. But like, it's so clever though because he's versing just Termagant spam.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you should have. And this is the Terminators here with the assault cannon. Very good long range damage. That's the Venom cannon, so that's the anti-vehicle. And that's what's 1 missile launcher. It'll do okay damage.
It's not bad. Trade at the top. This could be our Tyranids' last push. They're down to 134 VPs. They really need to stop this burn. The central VP is pretty much unoccupied and they haven't gone for a cap here, which means they're bleeding VPs incredibly quickly. See, the bottom Carnifex gets forced off and there's probably not enough time to slap some more armor plating on that bad boy and send it out again.
It's the melter gun as well, so that Carnifex isn't doing anything. There wasn't any vehicles on this side, so that Venom Cannon really wasn't helpful at all. Whereas down here maybe would have been a bit more useful. What has this one got? This one here. That one has... Oh, Barbed Strangler and Spore Cysts. Upgrades a ranged suppression biomorph. Okay.
Suppression, that's cool.
I mean...
Spore mines.
Yeah, Spore mines is probably helpful.
Effects, that's pretty good.
I don't know how good that is, though, compared to just getting warriors with the Barbed Strangler.
Yeah. Still, spawning Spore mines doesn't sound like a bad thing.
Yeah. And the Dreadnought's level 3 now, so you can probably just 1v1 a default Carnifex.
31 VP's machine, we see no stalling in sight. 26, 24, will the center one get stalled? I don't think so, I think it's pretty much going to be it. See, an orbital bombardment to buy time here.
That's the nuke, the Tyranids formation or something, and the orbital bombardment as a follow-up there. I think it's just the GG orbital bombardment where you're like, oh, well, I might as well use it now.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste that red, you know?
You never want to end a game floating red.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was... Come on. Here we go. Go somewhere quiet, or just pause the game. Here we go. I mean, that was a very uphill fight for the Space Marines. I think the unit preservation certainly wasn't the best. I mean, suffocation... I don't want to be that guy that calls someone out, but he lost a lot of squads, didn't he? And, I mean, Phogos as well, losing all his Raveners. I think that was the problem, was those plasma cannons.
Drops were a big issue.
The plasma cannons just kept wrecking face, and there wasn't enough anti-setup teams, and just in general, there was a few really crucial engagements where the Nids lost their warriors, they got knocked back, they had to mass retreat.
The triple card effects, although swaggy, don't get me wrong, was probably the wrong choice. I mean...
Yeah, it didn't do too much.
There's so many counters on the field ready to go to deal with them. It just doesn't seem like the right move.
That's true. There was already laser cannons, already melter bombs, already dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Venom Broods are one of the best anti-tank infantry, and they're very cheap. They don't cost any power. So the dreadnoughts normally aren't that hard to deal with. You just get a Venom Brood. They're similar to the tank busters.
Yeah.
Which are a very strong unit as well. So yeah, that'll wrap us up. We do have more of these games to go, so we'll certainly be returning with another Dawn of War 2 Shoutcast, Space Marines versus Tyranids style.
Thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to game number 2 of our Mad Dog series between the Space Marines and the Tyranids. Again, spawning as our Tyranids, a little bit of a switch up of players. We've got Quest, it's going to be our Hive Tyrant, Phogos as our Lictor Alpha. Nice. And Suffocation, also playing as our Hive Tyrant.
I'm just looking at the skins, because, I mean, this skin is ugly. It's just all golden.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man, I want an immersive, authentic Warhammer 40,000 experience, and he's ruining it for me, man. Whereas Good Guy Suffocation,
yeah,
isn't that nice?
Sexy.
We're gonna have one different Space Marine player as well as a different Nid player there. Kim Dank Possible, he's going to be our Space Marine. That's actually a very nice skin. Black Ice will be returning as our Tech Marine, and Bashful Oni as our Force Commander. So I forget the name of this map. It's quite a nice map though. It's very open, very wide. A lot of different rooms.
See something, I think. Casto? I can't remember.
Okay, it's a good use of the cover, but a little bit outnumbered is the Space Marines. Pops the battle cry here, so these Hormagaunts can't stick around in melee versus... It actually spawns out of the house with these shotguns. Jeez.
Good. So we're going to get the tie-up onto these attacks. It's going to allow the Hive Tyrant to close and buy a bit more time. They're getting collapsed upon. We're going to force a mass retreat, though.
The thing is with a Hive Tyrant is his damage is really low. So it doesn't matter so much if he gets in melee. It ties them up, as you say. It prevents them from firing. But a lot of instinct is like, oh no, my Space Marines are in melee. But with a Hive Tyrant, it's just kind of like, okay, that's fine. I'll just run around in circles. Especially in that engagement there, where you have like the house. If you have the bunker, it's not really a house, is it? If you have the shotguns in the bunker and you're running around and the shotguns are just blasting at the Hive Tyrant minimum range, they'll do some pretty good damage.
Draft, we're going to find a pretty nice engagement here. Oh, don't quite see a scout squad going down. I'm pretty sure it avoids the last melee.
It depends on the flesh hooks as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can use the flesh hooks to get a wipe, but I'm assuming he already used it. It's pretty triggering, is like, yeah, I survived this retreat, I'm safe now. And you lose a squad, and you're like, damn it. Okay, the spore mines are on the field. This is a really good way of kiting this.
Yeah, Hero Force Commander.
I mean, the Force Commander can be hit by the spore mines. I don't think he's too concerned.
Very nicely played.
The problem there wasn't the follow-up of the Termagants. He just kept firing at the power node.
Took it down, though.
Yeah, they will be delaying the power. Look at the power comparison here. We've got 2 full farms for the Nids.
It ends up probably being worth throwing away those spore mines, but yeah, Force Commander is an excellent way to kite those bad boys out. The spore mines don't get tied up in melee, but they do get body blocked by the Force Commander as they're coming in, so it does delay their forward movement a little bit. I don't think we have any upgrades on this Force Commander yet, from the looks of things.
No.
No, nothing. So no on Halo, which means no more sticking around at range. You will be retreating from the middle of the map. Devastator squad's actually going to get tied up here.
It's a little bit bold, trying to soft retreat versus Hormagons. The squad of Devastators. We've seen how nasty those Hormagons are, wiping things on retreat. This could be more warriors going down, which will be knocking about those weaker Nids.
Actually going to see a retarget from the scouts. They're trying to save the Devastator squad a little bit further down on our screen, and they're back. They're going to be retreating again. It's 2 Devastator squads forced off by 1 squad of Hormagons, though. That's a pretty good trade.
Lucky special attack there against the Force Commander. Knocked him back and prevented him from wiping another model of the Warriors. Meanwhile, we have the Devastator squad, but pretty good splitting up here. And he pops the Vengeance rounds to try and do maximum damage since he can't suppress the Hive Tyrant.
He really needs to retreat from this one. He's going to get wiped. Yeah, that was a very nice retreat.
This fight isn't going too well for the Space Marines. They are a very power-intense faction, and if they get behind on power, it can be hard for them to fight without it.
Yeah, definitely with double Devastators getting forced off in that engagement, it makes it very hard to trade effectively. See here, Space Marines just sticking around this tack squad, trying to defend the power. As long as they're there, power nodes aren't getting focused. They are truly heroic.
These Tac Marines very deep, looking for some power harassment. Do we have a Flamer on the way?
Surely we do.
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I guess you don't really want a Flamer versus Nids.
Yeah.
The Flamer, it may sound like it's good versus Nids because of the AoE damage, but the Flamer actually has really short range. That you generally you can't get within range to make use of the Flamer.
Ravenous out of nowhere.
It's actually the same with the Imperial Guard. A lot of the time, you just can't get within range for it to really work.
And you don't want to be in range of Hormagons when you're using it either. So.
Yeah, or Warriors, or Hive Tyrants, or Raveners.
There's really nothing you want to stick around in DPS. So.
Insert various other Termagant Tyranid things that have large claws, and there's a few that we didn't mention, to say the least.
I suppose they're not bad if you use them in conjunction with a scout squad having shotguns and nades. Then they have a bit of use against a melee-intensive Tyranid force, but still, I mean, like there are better ways. Yeah,
that's exactly right. They rely on synergy there. Or if your opponent only has Termagants, then sure, but realistically, they're going to have other things mixed in. Assault Marines, on the other hand, are fantastic versus these, and these Raveners, they have the range upgrade, so they're going to be pretty weak versus the Assault Marines. Wait, what?
That didn't turn into the Hive Tyrant. Did it go in?
The Ravager went forward, I think.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought he used that to disengage.
I did as well. Would have made more sense. It's actually going to end in the Hive Tyrant going down. We see a late retreat coming out there, double retreat coming out from those Gaunts as well.
You know what else I just thought about, which is a really cool part of this game, is energy management.
Yeah,
It's
so cool, yeah.
We're just reminiscing about how much we like Dawn of War 2 because Dawn of War 3 is coming soon and we're not so optimistic about it. Yeah, like, do you double jump? Do you melt a bomb? Do you use the merciless strike?
Yeah.
There's a lot of really interesting decisions that you have to make.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And it's kind of the best way of designing units and abilities is because you don't want to overburden the game with buttons. Like, you don't want to have 7 different abilities and go, there you go, your Assault Marines have lots of depth. What you really want to do is cram as much decision making and strategic possibilities and synergies that you can do into just a handful of abilities. And there's a lot of games that do that well. I think Red Alert 3 does it fantastically. There's a lot of abilities there that actually give you a lot of utility, and certainly Dawn of War 2 does as well, with things like the shotgun. You have one ability, and yet that gives you so much.
Yeah. So, we potentially see a bit of a res push coming in here from Tyranids. Double heroes did go down. We saw Electro Alpha as well as the Hive Tyrant going down. So expect the Hive Tyrant to try and run in and get a res here, maybe, and it certainly looks like they're going to be collapsing on the bottom section of this map.
Big push here on the right side too. Could take out the power farm. This is where team games get tricky, because do you support your teammates or do you hold your power? Looks like the Space Marines are able to hold this one actually very easily. There's a lot of units here. There's Devastator. There's a Tarantula turret. Tarantula turrets are very good versus the Nids because you can't wipe them so easily with Hermagons like you can with the Devastators.
Certainly seems like a bit of a mistimed push with the players not actually running in to his quest. He just decided to chill on the bottom of the VP and not flank the Devastator, which is clearly a problem.
Okay, Hive Tyrant had to retreat here. Assault Marines do jump out, apart from that guy a little bit late.
Yeah. So Jetpack a little faulty. Had to Fonzie it. Reach behind it. All good. Jetpack working again. And yeah, another mass retreat. Ravager's not going that well. It's quite hard for them to find a nice engagement. In order to get a nice burrow in under those Devastators, they have to be pretty close, and they end up taking a bit too much range damage from these Space Marine squads before they manage to get in, these TAC Marine squads, as well as the danger, obviously, of having the Assault Marines jump in on top of them, so they're struggling to find that disruption.
Now, this is another way of dealing with the Tarantula turrets and the Devastators, is go for the Zoanthropes. There's the artillery
nice,
units.
Yeah, good.
However, he's going to have to be a little bit concerned about the Force Commander with a Thunderhammer and a Teleporter pack. Jumps in right on top of the Tyranids. He is able to soft retreat here. There's some Warriors too, which are pretty powerful, but this Thunderhammer is so nasty. Has strong AoE, damages all units around him. The Hive Tyrant having a bit of damage there with the Rending Talons, but actually the Force Commander without any shield isn't too durable. Might want to get the armor of the Artificer's armor for the extra health and the health regen.
Certainly a possibility. We do see a retreat coming out though. Well, nice Thunderhammer shots, but lucky attack from one of those Warriors is going to get the knockback and force the retreat, but then not another Thunderhammer shot available. Solid play from our Tyranids, managed to get back in here. See some res, hopefully, onto that Lictor Alpha. And potentially some power node harassment as well here.
Yeah, they can go down pretty fast. We do have a Dreadnought on the field, the north side now.
Nice.
There is the Crushing Claw, but still, the Dreadnought can win this fight pretty easily, even despite the warp field.
Another fantastic engagement for the Assault Marines. Looking for an engagement that the Dreadnought Flamer equipped is going to be in the area. The Tarantula turrets have now gone down. Zoanthrope's going to be nice, as long as it can be well positioned. And avoid any damage from these Assault Space Marines. Potentially we see the Raveners try and bait in the Assault Marine jump to keep the Zoanthrope safe.
So we have the Stern Guard veterans now. They're able to change the bolts to get different types of damage. So they're quite a fun squad to use. You can have them good versus light infantry, heavy infantry, commanders and vehicles. There's a few different ways you can use them. Like that's when they swap their weapons.
Certainly going to be having a longer game on our hands here. It's very surprisingly we have a triple cap. I didn't really expect to see this for our Tyranids on 362 VPs compared to the 294 of the Space Marines. Pretty impressive.
Huge flank here, forces the mass retreat, and this Dreadnought a little bit slow to the retreat himself. Doesn't quite have the long legs, so he has to waddle his way down. And there's a Venom Brood here. There's the buff. There's a Barb Strangler. This Dreadnought should go down here. We do have the Assault Marines.
Yeah, they're going to disrupt the Venom Brood. Nicely played. We're actually going to go re-engage from the Dreadnought. That's insane.
But there's two Venom Broods here, so he's a little bit outnumbered. He's going to go down. Submarines can at least disengage from this one. I think the reason why he went in, because he only thought there was one Venom Brood, but there was actually two of them, so that didn't quite go to plan. This is a 1v2 right now. He can't fight this on his own. Meanwhile, the Space Marine players on the other side of the map, they have pushed pretty far into enemy territory, but it may not be worth it here with their power farm going down. But they actually took out two themselves.
Yeah, two themselves, exactly right, Machine, with a pretty fantastic push. They could pay for it, though. That's going to be the Lictor Alpha jumping in. Let's see if he can get any hooks off. There goes the Force Commander. Lack of upgrades. Should still be fine here. Good retreat.
Yeah, couldn't quite do much damage there without any war gear. I don't see this game going too well now for the Space Marines.
Yeah, much better switch up in terms of our Tyranids unit composition here, adding to their range damage by including the Venom Broods and keeping those Ravagers at range rather than trying to disrupt Devastators.
Yeah, this tack squad's getting low here. The Scouts go down. These double Zoanthropes are going to be pretty effective, but the Assault Marines can force them off very quickly. That's a Whirlwind? Okay, yeah. Nice. Oh no, this Whirlwind, the Venom Brood.
That's so important.
He's pretty squishy, able to get out of here. I believe there is
not quite the Calliope of Dawn of War 2.
Oh my god. Oh, minimum range barrage. The damage isn't too much though, it's more just the disruption.
Now getting out of dodge.
Okay, he has a Devastator here too.
Yeah. Give me enough to save these power nodes.
Okay, we actually have the Power Sword in the Iron Halo now, but a very late Power Sword, rather than going for Thunder Hammer or the Power Fist.
Another Dreadnought here for Black Ice is going to be added on. Meanwhile, we have all three Tyranid players either on tier 3 or approaching it. This time with a unit composition that is very much intact, not losing squads here.
I was just seeing if there was something that was giving us a suppression resistance buff, because those Nids weren't getting suppressed. But I think the Tarantula turret has a bit less suppression than Devastators. Trying to focus down the turret.
Which Alpha is murdered. Actually still alive. Not getting any repair though. The double Zoanthrope will take it out on the next shot. There we go. Tarantula turret down. I mean, the Zoanthrope's actually closed on here. Power's starting to get burned out, but no teleport available for that Force Commander, so they're going to be fine.
I think that was a wipe there that we saw. Suffocation is on the right side. Yes, he doesn't have many squads left. Only having 4 of them. So, good turnaround.
It's not bad, Callum, not bad. Another Dreadnought here as well. Time for King Dank possible.
And a Carnifex. Last game, they didn't really do that much. They failed pretty spectacularly. So let's see if they're any more successful. Those gateway pillars absorbing both of those rocket shots, saving the Nids for today. Oh, this could be a dead Devastator squad here. Retreats with 10 health just in time.
The Trope's not really having the range to get those last couple of shots off. We'll be engaging the Whirlwind, the Tarantula turret now. Whirlwind getting a few more shots off. Really solid disruption here. Looking towards our victory points, 290 for the Tyranids, 169 for our Space Marines. And so definitely a better game to be rolling in with a Carnifex, especially if this tack squad with the rocket launcher goes down, but it's going to survive.
Hormagaunts couldn't quite get the wraparound there in time. Now it's the Nids that are perhaps overextending just a little bit.
Especially with this Dreadnought in the back lines. Lictor Alpha still being continually crushed by the Whirlwind.
It feels weird saying Whirlwind because I'm so used to the Ostwind in Company of Heroes. And the Verbal Wind even from Co 1.
Oh yeah, Verbal Wind, that's old school.
Yeah, it's like the quad flak. You know the base flak that you get for OKW? It's like that on a Panzer IV chassis.
Yeah, it's cool. Do you see how pissed off the Whirlwind got that it couldn't knock back the Hive Tyrant? It was not happy.
Yeah. Okay, Carnifex here.
Here we
so
go.
Venom Cannon. And there's 2 dreadnoughts here, so this is a good time to be a
Nice.
Carnifex with a Venom Cannon.
Certainly is. One of the dreadnoughts with the assault cannon as well. Not really going to help out against the Carnifex. It's the double dreadnoughts and the whirlwind. This is going to be a fantastic choice. I'm not sure how many of those Venom broods are still alive. I believe it's still 2. I believe they're both up.
This is the entire Tyranid army, all 3 players, I think.
Certainly looks that way,
there's
Machine.
some
They are
here
collapsing
too.
in, so...
But there's definitely only 2 Space Marine players here, so he's trying to run as best as he can. A little bit late retreat with the Devastators, but that little container thing, it will save the squad. The unit preservation's been pretty good thus far for the majority of the players.
Carnifex keeps pushing forward here, looking for damage on these dreadnoughts. Thankfully, that attack marine squad with the rocket launcher stayed alive, and it's going to make the Carnifex think twice. Friendly fire!
Man. Punk Buster's going to kick him from the server for that. Okay, Dreadnought gets focused down very quickly.
Yeah, it's gone.
There's actually 2 Carnifexes, both of which having the Venom cannons.
Oh, Lord.
So these Dreadnoughts not going to have much of an impact anymore. This is a huge push now. But the Las Cannon has hit the field. What was that? Yeah, Las Cannon Dreadnought. A Devastator.
Yeah, sitting right on top of that whirlwind. Whirlwind's still looking for some more disruption here, but overall looks like our Space Marines are being forced off the map. Marines going to be jumping in here.
One of the Space Marines still going to be capping up rather than defending and helping his teammates, and that could be a costly mistake because this is a massive Tyranid swarm and it's just doing so much damage. A little bit futile is some of these attacks here.
Vehicle's entirely useless at this stage of the game. See here, 290 VPs. Tyranids compared to the 82 of the Space Marines. I don't really see a way for them to come back into this game. A lot of red banked up, but really nowhere to spend and not enough time to spend it here.
Yeah, I mean, getting the VP was important, but capturing all these points perhaps wasn't that important. And now he's going to get completely collapsed upon by a whole bunch of Nids. Did he actually give a Synapse buff here? Also grants Bioplasma. Okay.
I'm a piercing and yeah, so
But
nothing interesting.
there's an aura thing on these. Oh, it's from this Venom Brood, of course. That's where it's from. Oh wow, mass retreats.
Yeah, and those ranged upgrades do make the Carnifexes more vulnerable to melee hits as well. So
Carnifex's melee resistance aura. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I was thinking of melee skill. Melee skill is like special attacks.
Yeah, special attacks. This Lecter Alphas haven't been getting a lot done. Perhaps a little bit less useful in team games where they can just be hard focused by big blobs of units. So
Yeah, I'd agree.
there's less chance for assassination. So 1v1s we've seen them be very effective.
Okay, melted bomb.
Times of battles.
There's a plasma cannon, the Tech Marine. There's a Force Commander slapping him about.
See you later. Let's one Carnifex down. Maybe eventually our Space Marines are going to be able to build a vehicle. Maybe. It's definitely a maybe there.
Is there another Carnifex in the field still?
No. I believe there are only 2 built.
But didn't only one die, or did we see both of them?
Yeah,
go
no,
down?
there's another one on the field. Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, there it
Bottom,
is.
yeah,
right.
yeah. They're the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
We just saw it.
Okay, another big push by the Nids. He spawns Spore Mines. That was the Thornback. Okay, so increases health, Stampede, spawns Rippers. Right, so I think that's the other upgrade. I don't think there's a melee upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the range one, like the barbed thing too.
Yeah, the Barb Strangers, which does spawn Spore Mines around the Carnifex. That was separate. That was the global call-in for the Spore Mines, so...
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't play Nids a lot, much less get a Carnifex in a 1v1. Oh, what was that?
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It completely stopped the Hormigons from chasing down the attacks, but
and the
it's
VP
kind of
control,
important that
I
they get a
suppose.
VP control, yeah.
But now you can't use that on the Zoanthropes,
Yeah,
and those
that's
Zoanthropes
true.
will have great damage versus the Dreadnought.
Cap's going to be stopped. Missile launch is just too important at this stage in the game.
Even the adrenal gland warriors can slap about this Dreadnought with the assault cannon.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What's this Carnifex have?
That's the Venom cannon.
Yeah, okay. 8 VPs though, and it looks like it's going to be it. Probably should have left that Space Marine squad to cap, but it's going to be too little too late here, and that's the GG.
Tyranno formation. Again, the GG nukes. Well, man, Nids versus Space Marine is such like a weird matchup because there's just like so much happening, and it can turn around. I suppose that's kind of the nature of any melee intensive matchup, is squad wipes can happen pretty fast, especially with Nids, I think, because of the way that the synapse works. If you have a bad engagement, you have a really bad engagement.
Yeah.
I think that's why Tyranids are a very difficult faction to play, and at least there's a lot more to consider than what you would normally otherwise consider. They're not exactly the most intuitive faction for someone that's like, oh, I play RTS games, I can play Nids. It's like, So we aren't really keeping score, but it's 1-1, right?
1-1, yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be us for
Space Marine's 1-1
tonight.
Nids.
Yeah, it's like 10 PM already,
Yeah.
but we'll do the rest of the series. This is pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I think
Good
there's
fun.
quite a few games too. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel for more Dawn of War 2 and more RTS content.
See you next time. Hello, are you 13 and bad at League of Legends? Well, we have the game for you. Dawn of War 3, where you need no micro, no macro.
Wow, cool, wow.
You just spawn things in, and you don't have Q, W, E, R, you just have Q and W, and they're really easy, and just put them in a line, in a cone, and it works, yeah!
Yeah!